like speed rapping, like really fast rapping. So he was into that, and so we chopped it up back and forth. And he said, "You don't have a manager?" And I said, "No, not at the time." He said, "Well, listen, you know, you seem serious. I got a red-eye flight for you to come down to Los Angeles. You just go pick it up. It's on you." So I really didn't know who he was. You know, I really didn't know who he was so much. So I asked my mother, and she's like, "Well, you know, baby, just go down there. You know, what the heck do you have to lose?" So I went down there, and it turned out he was working on, although he actually was working on WKRP at the time, too. He was doing a couple of shows, but he was on that lot. So he would take me down there to freestyle, improv about people. We'd go to different contests, talent shows. You had to do all this stuff because, you know, there's people trying to sign you or get agents. I didn't know anything, but you just, you know, every 5 minutes they're like, "Here, you know, rap for this person, sing for this person, you know, dance." You know, it's like, so finally somebody from Max Dash, the guys that wrote Jefferson's Good Times, Max Dash and Bill Dow, they were like, "Hey, Romeo, man, how do you feel about acting?" That was my stage name at the time. Romeo Blue.
Okay.
Yeah, Romeo Blue. And so they're like, "Romeo, you know, how do you feel, you know, about acting?" I was like, "Well, hey, you know, I've never done any acting." So I said, "Okay." So later that night, Michael T said to me, he threw this book at me, and he says, "Hey, say these lines right here." And it was something like if I said, "Hey, hello, Paul," right? Imagine if the line said, "Hello, Paul," and I looked at him and said, "Hey, Paul, hey, man." And he looked at me, he said, "Man, you know what? If you said it like that, you would bomb." He said, "You can either listen to me and the $300-some thousand I paid for acting coaching today, or you can do it your way." And I said, "Oh, no, by all means. I don't know anything about, you know, acting. You know, tell me." So he gave me a crash course at that point upstage. So he worked with me for a while on subtext. The main thing is like being yourself when you actually say the lines, like who you are versus playing it by the numbers. So that took a minute, but once I got it down, then they had a script ready, and they had me. The problem was the script that they had for me. It had me stealing something.
Computer, right?
Computer.
Yeah, it had me stealing something. And the first thing I thought was like, no, I said, you know, why did they have me stealing something? You know, just dumped, just not even thinking the whole thing through. It was like, but I ought to tell you something funny. I said, so why did they have me stealing the computer? You know, did I say something? You know, and they go, "No, man." They said that character has a redeemable action. It's a redeemable character if you play it right. And so they said that basically they're saying, "Hey, that's a hard role." They think you can do it. But Les Nessman, you know, from, you know, like that's one of the most recognized to me. That's who I kind of really knew. And he told me, he said, "Hey, Romeo, you know," he says, "No, you know, play it like this. You know, you meant to do what you did to help your friends. You didn't mean to hurt anybody. You probably do it again, but you didn't mean to mess up." So he tried to explain the way to play a redeemable. But anyway, so that was my first crash course to realizing like those actors are really talented because you get 2 scripts a week because you have an episode that you're working on that week, and you get one that's already coming for the next week.
Wow.
And your memorization, like they have these things called dumbass cards. You know, pardon my français, excuse me, dumb cards.
Whatever you want on the show. It's not filtered.
Okay, all right. I know some people, you know, but yeah, they got dumbass cards, and you don't want those because they hold those up, you know, real big. Some people don't care, but you know, when you get down there, you just don't want to use them. But the more experienced actors, they don't even read the script. They just sit around and let you read it, and they become that person by Friday. Because what you do is on Friday, you shoot in the morning in front of cameras, no people. It's live, and it's you're supposed to have it down packed, and then you do it in front of a live audience that night, and they mix and match, and it's more loose. So they pick the best of those, and for that episode. So then you're going into the next week with the next episode. But yeah, you know, that's how that TV stuff works. But I always wanted to get inside the little box and see what it was like. And once I did that, you know, that was it. The mystery was over.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, you had a lot of time with Les Nessman in that episode.
Oh man, we spent a lot of time in the trailers. You know, he has a lot of when you're not a star, they tow on like a little trailer.
Yeah.
You know, and they put your name on it, and it's cool though. It still show you a lot of love. But like when you're a star like Les, you got like an apartment like. If you're like Jerry Seinfeld, because they were on there, you got like apartment, and I don't know what those guys. They get paid so well, and you get catering, your clothes, wardrobe. I mean, they have everything pretty laid out. But Les had a lot of game, and when I say he had a lot of game, I mean like he told me he goes, hey Romeo, he goes, you rap and stuff. He says, hey man, that's good. He says, you ever try to put out your album, you know, or you think about putting out an album? I says, yeah. I said, well, but you know, if you put out the wrong thing, you can't get it out. If you water it down, maybe you get. And so I says, well, hey, look, why don't you just write it in a book? And then we start talking about like different artists from Europe that had tried that. Like he was really hip. He loved coming to the Bay Area with he had a daughter Emily and another one Caitlin that would come by. He loves coming up to Napa in the Bay Area. He loved it up here. And he was the smartest actor. Although he was funny, when the cameras are off, this is like one time we were doing a scene and the mic hit him in the head and everybody kind of laughed because he just stood there and they got all their laughs and he didn't laugh at all. And when they finished laughing, he said, can we get on with the scene? And everybody, they turned it on. Like, so that, you know, that's Les. But he was fun, man. Who else? Actually, some of the older actors will come by just to check on it. Some of the ones that have been on before. So it's a revolving door. And like if you go to the cafeteria, that's what's a trip. If you're like an unknown person like me and you've never been down there, you don't know anybody, and you go into the cafeteria, you see like who's who. You know, you want to ask for an autograph, but they're working. Their hair is down, so you don't even bother. You know. And you never know who you might see. Like, I walked around the corner and I saw some shoes. I saw some shoes that were so bad. I love shoes. And I said, man, these are some of the baddest shoes I've ever seen, right? And I said, they were George Hamilton's. But the funny thing about that is he used to hang with Emil DeMarco's. But I didn't have the heart to ask him, hey, man, did you get those when you went shopping with that lady, Emil DeMarco?
First lady of the Philippines.
Oh,
yeah, the guy with the greatest tan in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. So he was tanning that day.
I don't think I've ever seen him without a tan.
Man, he tried to do it in between scenes. That's the only thing. Yeah, I didn't know, what's going on, but we did discuss, like, I like that movie, Love at First Bite.
That was great. Great movie.
Yeah. I liked him in that movie, man. Okay.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Was Zorro the Gay Blade? That was awesome.
Yeah, I forgot about that one, yeah.
But Boys of Summer, I guess I'm showing my age. I've seen a bunch of movies.
No, man, that's beautiful because half of the time people don't know what I'm saying.
Zandine, how did you become Paranormal Soul Brother? What made you interested in the paranormal and UFOs and the whole works?
That was like my dad was a Vietnam vet. Well, he is a Vietnam vet, I should say, not was, but he had a near-death experience, like before I'd even heard it on In Search Of, or anything. And it always tripped me out. Like he would tell me, recant it. And he was interested in UFOs and stuff. He always said, hey, there's other life. He wasn't saying, is there or isn't there? He was saying it was. And so when Close Encounters came out, we were already on that. Like, we were already thinking, hey, this is, what's going on. So that right there, that movie, and, like, stuff he was into. And he had a couple friends that had cabins up in Clear Lake. And they spoke with some things. And I just was like, really? Just really want to see is that like for real. And so when the internet first came out, the first things you could search pretty much was like UFO stuff, and you could search X-rated stuff. It's about the thing you could get some of the crazy stuff. Yeah, you know, chat rooms, right? Remember those chat rooms? Yeah. So it's, you know, but they had a lot of, and I would spend all kind of time searching the areas that they had. They talked about bases and this and that, and I was hooked. So I didn't see anything though until my son. I have my 24-year-old. When he was 4, I saw like a green kind of like jelly glob type of UFO, the color green of a traffic light, and that was by Antioch on Highway 4, and it was in the daytime, more like going towards the evening, but everybody could see it because everybody on the freeway slowed to about 40, you know, trying to look at this thing, and it was a major highway, and as soon as it disappeared behind the mountain, and it was going in the live air like whoop, whoop. And everybody was you're just like stuck, like you got a jackpot or something. You're not gonna close your mouth or anything. And then when it disappeared, everybody sped up to like 90. I said, yeah, okay. So I was the only one saw everybody was spooked. So from that moment, I was like, I started trying to go back to the area, you know, looking for the sun, and it was a trip.